Welcome back to Careful Boys. We have with us the lovely Kalyne again.
Hey, Kalyne!
Lucky for us, you two, we're about to talk about something where she has a lot of experience, aren't we?
Oh, you.
Dancing?
Here we go.
Filmmaking?
No, I think Ryan has more experience in this.
During the break, it was funny because Nick was like, man, I bet dancers get all the puss that they crush in the world. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Dancers, I think they have this like, I don't know, they have this kind of like trope of being like romantic dudes. And they probably like a lot of girls, you know, like them and stuff.
They start backing it up on people. Like,
Oh, that's a good, did you see the hip rotation there? That's really
do
good.
a little bit of.
That is really good.
With the fanny pack, dude.
Just take my number. Oh my! Wow, the fanny pack flew.
As a dancer, bro, I know what it's like. You know what I mean?
And Kalene's she's like neck deep, maybe nose deep in the dance community, right?
Careful.
Careful. Deeply in the, and then so like.
Deeply. Deeply.
It sounds so weird no matter what the truth is.
Just deeply.
So deep.
Deeps. Uh-huh.
So as a lady in the dance community, how has your experience been with these sex gods surrounding you? How
Anthony, do you
resist?
think you're a sex god?
I think he is.
He is. He's the biggest
That's
sex
such
god
a
right
sex god thing to say, though.
Absolutely.
No, he said it like this. No, he said it like that. Like a sex god.
He glowed as he said
He
it.
was like, no.
Said it just like King Triton would have.
Who the fuck says yes?
Sex minions.
People that don't have sex, right here.
You're married. You have a lot of sex. You're married.
Nick Dunn,
No.
personal.
No.
You have like God ordained sex.
God, yeah. I think that's the best way to say it.
He's not a sex god, he's just God ordained.
Yeah. God blesses me to have sex. Yeah.
Yeah, because Joe was saying like, dude, dancers probably get all the push, and I was like, dude, honestly, like a lot of them are they just creep girls out.
I think people are initially attracted to the talent, but this is what I was saying off camera too. As soon as they open their mouths, it's a little bit of a different story.
What do you mean?
I don't know if we can blanket statement dancers on this one, but let's keep talking and see what.
Or what's like the
Well, I just
stereotypical
want-
dancer creep trope?
Or all the suitors that you have.
Well, think
I
about
think-
all the people who are being.
Okay, that's different.
Okay.
She's talking about all the cancellations going around. Like in a row.
Is there a Me Too dance movement?
Some of the highest
Yes.
like position dancers were just getting knocked off their pedestals like one after the other for just some creep shit. But then
And rightfully so, though.
I think that's a thing that has to do with a lot of like art or performance based talents. Those are all
The coaches always having sex with their student, huh?
well. I mean, especially if you think of dancers, before dancers were dancers, they weren't always the most popular guy in school.
do you think guys
They could have also just been fucking weirdos too.
like? Do you think they get into dance going like, I'm gonna get some pussy, I'm gonna get some pussy, I'm gonna get some pussy?
Dude, honestly, there are people that will message me like fucking these young dancers will message me and that is their motivation. I'm like, what the f?
What makes them think? All right, this is what I don't
that's
get.
fair though, because like I admittedly definitely started dancing because I thought I was like, oh maybe girls like this, but I didn't know I would like it more than girls like me doing it.
It turned into a passion. You're like, well, this is a win-win then.
But what? Okay, what?
That's
what
what
is
a
it
sex
about
god would
this
say.
that makes you-
I mean, if I've ever heard one.
How is this gonna get you pussy?
Wait until you hear that move to the perfect sound, and then you're like, oh my god.
What would be the perfect sound of that?
Wave.
I only wanna lay with you.
Is it worth it? Can you even hear?
What is the dancer creep trope though?
Yeah, what's the? I want to know.
So I think when you're in your
Tell us some stories.
When you're in your industry, you only see your industry, right? So like in the comedian world, it's like some dudes will like after the show they'll start talking and you can immediately go, okay, this guy's trying to use the set he just killed to kind of spit game or whatever. Like what is the dance creep? So people out there I guess can recognize it. Is there like
Find the dance creeps in your local area.
What should we
I will
be
say-
aware of?
I mean, the big Me Too movement and cancellation and stuff, I think a lot of that comes from like the culture of what they call like grooming. So, when you're taking some sort of young prodigy that is already in your ecosystem because maybe you teach at a school, you know what I mean, or a studio that has like some sort of tuition program where kids are constantly there, or there's some youth team and you happen to be that like, you know, parental guidance kind of head figure, you know, coach or whatever. You're taking them to competitions or late night rehearsals, or saying like, you know, this is a big competition, you can sleep at my house or whatever, or you know, there's a giant retreat, or
conventions that have that issue is where people who are traveling with conventions and they have hotel rooms, you're staying in the same hotel that all these other kids going to that convention are at, and that's the huge problem with that.
So with dance conventions, those are like these traveling, like sometimes week-long seminars where there's like classes every day, and they usually take place in like a big hotel where like you'll go teach in the ballroom, but then your rooms are upstairs. There've been times where we were teaching on those shits, and the kids would just go around trying to find the instructors, and like we'll just knock on your door at like midnight
To do what?
just to see you,
Just to say hi, like just
it's like
there's
an
no
innocent,
boundary there.
it's an innocent thing, but
So it's like, yo, you all play.
Oh, these are the ice machines.
well, that's what it be like. It's
So they're just playing like, oh, they might be in one of these rooms, and then they're just like, let's go find them. But then a creep might open and go, come on in.
well, it's because like if these kids are like fans of you, they just want to interact. They're not. It's like an innocent kid. They're just trying to like. Sometimes they're even just pranking you. But you know, if you're
That's true. If I was really looking up to somebody, and then like I, you know, at midnight I'd be like, oh, maybe they want to play like hide and seek or something. You know, like
no, yeah, it's that innocent. Yeah, like there'd be like
I would want to play with them.
dude. Yeah, like this 15-year-old girl's like knocking on our door, and I open it. I was like, what the fuck? And she's like, hi, like not just super innocent.
Get out of here.
I just slam in her face, like, dude, no way, man.
I tried to jailbait myself. It didn't work.
What? You got served as on. I'm gonna watch that instead. But it's always playing in a hotel room.
you know, it's also like dance is such like a you know, passion and physical kind of art as well, right? So you might be in the room and it might be like, you know, teaching someone dance, like, no, you want to move like this or fix this, or your body, you know what I mean? And it can get into that place.
Show them how it
gray
heats.
area
Show them how
where
it
the
heats up.
boundaries are.
Where it gets comfortable. And
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
there's definitely people, especially when you're put into a position of power, that will
yeah.
totally take advantage of
And where the
that.
parents at? You know what I mean? Like,
They sometimes are. They're
They're
sometimes
at
like,
the bar
oh,
getting drunk.
yeah, or they want their kid to interact
That's where
with
the parents are at.
choreographers to like gain a leg up in the career.
Or just trusting a manipulative person who, like, on the outside is very doing everything by the book, super responsible, super nice, right?
Damn.
Sometimes the actual creeps are the ones that are like super easy to hang out with all the time.
I never trust
They
those
don't. They
guys.
don't necessarily give you fucked up vibes.
That's
It's more
what-
just like, oh, that person's really nice.
That's what the definition of creep is to me. It's not someone who's like going, all lecherous. It's like creep is literal. It's like they're creeping closer and closer to a ulterior motive.
Literal.
But they're using dance as the vehicle. They're like, oh yeah, dance, me and you, blah blah blah. But then
As to build a rapport.
right,
Yeah.
and they know that you like maybe you didn't show like a physical interest off the bat. So then they're like, oh, now what do I do? Oh, okay, let me just get in close as a friend through dance,
Right.
and then when the time is right. What a time we're having!
And there's hierarchy to that, right?
What a time we're having. It's like, I'm not having a good time since it started, since time started, not having a good time.
So you think about like Larry Nassar, and you know, if you're a young female gymnast in the Olympic team, and it's like, oh, like all these gold medalists came through. Yeah. Then you get put into that situation, you're like, oh, I guess this is what it is. And those same kind of things or tropes can kind of also happen in the ecosystem, right? You're like, I'm gonna spend some extra time with this choreographer because they work on like serious industry shit or have these opportunities. Obviously, they're doing like dope stuff. And then maybe you find yourself in an uncomfortable position, but you're like, maybe this is what you gotta do. Because I remember in a different type of situation completely, I remember traveling to Russia my first time to teach. And then the promoter, and this is like back in the day, so you don't get like a lot of experiences or stories, but the promoter's like, all right, cool, you just teach in this class. All right, now you're gonna jump on this train and go to St. Petersburg. The train is gonna be 12 hours, you're gonna be in this bunk. It's, you know what I'm talking about, Russia, it's like there's like 4 beds inside of a compartment, and then you're just in there with 3 other random Russian people that are also traveling 12 hours. And I remember thinking to myself like, really? Like, this is what I'm supposed to do? And then the organizer, who's totally sweet and cool, but was just like, oh yeah, this teacher did it, this teacher did it, this teacher did it. Suddenly I'm kind of like, I guess that's what I have to do. And I put myself in a position that like 9 out of 10 times I wouldn't have done that.
Is that like a hostel on a train? Is it
kind of, yeah. But I'm just showing the example of being like, oh, okay, if I
Like
want
you're
to
just
go
out,
down
you're just
that
out of your
journey.
element. You just don't know.
Yeah.
how you can slowly be walked into a situation?
Yeah.
I see. Yeah. So then sometimes when you see somebody dancing as a coach, you don't know if that sweat is from physical or from perversion.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
Metaphorically.
What a time we're having.
He's rubbing his mustache all the time.
Excuse.
Fucking bring up that clip so you know what I'm referencing, man. It's not me. It's not original material.
Editor note.
So like the misconception of like Rico Suave dance dudes is actually like what? What would you say the
That might be
percentage is?
true in Latin dance,
Sure.
because I know that's pretty prevalent. Like you hear a lot of shit like that going down, but for the dance that we're involved
romantic dance man.
in, I don't know. It doesn't seem to differ very much from just anything else.
Yeah.
You know, like just someone with just a bad motive. You know, now they're just really.
I mean like so let's say okay, so I'm pretty sure that the guys of dance might have more chances with romance and dating than maybe the guys of engineering, you know?
Anything that you can display some form of like prowess without speaking, you're
like
you're
emotional
at a
art.
benefit because
Right.
you could be the dumbest idiot and someone could just be in an audience watching you and then going like, oh, I like him, but like based on what, you know, like.
And it probably depends on the type of dance, because if it's like tap versus breakdancing or
Oh,
something.
why you shit on tap, bro? Like,
That's way more attractive than.
Well, has that ever happened to you where you were working with a dancer and they started making it more about like more than work and you were just
they
like,
started tapping in front of you.
yeah.
No, honestly, I actually
never
have
happened?
never ran into that scenario.
Oh wow.
Do you think you have a good spider sense of like, man, you trying to fucking do something else? Or are you just like, you know what I mean? Like when you run into these situations, like
I take it for face value. Until somebody shows me that there is a clear line being drawn, like, I'll let you be.
What about any like boom mic operators?
Starts bumping you in the face.
He's like, notice me.
tickle your nose and sorry, is it in the shot? Sorry, my bad.
She's trying to direct, a boom mic just keeps
Immediately
going. What are you doing? Yo, God damn it.
immediately X'd out.
Really?
Out of all the
What about a key grip?
dancers,
Key grip.
which style is the sexiest?
Yeah.
And then which style is
Is the
usually you find the
wackest.
lamest guys?
I think whatever style that you're doing that comes across most authentic.
No.
Because there's some, yes. Because there are, yes.
He doesn't like
yes.
That's not the right answer.
Because I think if you're doing something that's authentic and it comes across that way, it doesn't look like you're trying too hard.
Yeah, because like all the
effortless.
the river dancers out there, just like my shit is the fucking real shit. Those things that they do in fucking Las Vegas is so fake.
Effortless.
What about like a, so let's say a crumper is like, I'm gonna do a poem for you.
In my face. Just with the boom.
And like all up on you like hardcore, would you take that as, oh man, that guy's sweet?
Yeah.
I would think that he has epilepsy.
So you're not a fan of dance then? It sounds like.
Clearly.
All right, in your experience of dating, right? If which industry or like kind of hobby or subculture has the most like romantic kind of suave dudes that sweep you off your
Guys that do this.
And then
But
this.
like across the gym when we like lock eyes
And he has a boom mic.
as he's dancing.
He's all here and then he's all.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Same
It's the
guy.
transition.
Guy, I'm soaked.
You just can't get away from this guy. Do you have an
That
opinion
he's
on that?
the lead extra in my life.
Anybody? Any memories of any like
A featured extra in my life.
tantalizing males?
Always there.
I guess we're just asking
R&B
what her
sing-
type is, right?
R&B singers, fucking unicyclists.
There's not like a checklist where you're like, this is gonna be the most.
I know, but it's funnier.
Yeah, well,
Put it in a box.
Put it in a freaking box.
Put it in a fucking box.
Yeah.
you got a box.
Yes, it says Shanghainese.
Ah, so attractive.
That's
Is
your
it
choice.
Is it like if this
Acoustic
guy
guitar
knows how to
players?
move? Is there any correlation? Like if this person knows how to move, maybe they know how to move
Bust it down.
That's like the common thought, right? Process. But I also think a guy who doesn't know how to move, that's a turnoff.
He just doesn't know how to move. He's just like,
He woke up this way.
I've not learned yet.
Stupid.
Stupid.
I've not learned yet. In the 35 years of my life.
Kalyne, will you teach me?
I also don't know how to move.
Nurse him back to health.
He's a new robot fresh out of the factory.
He's a new mover.
You're canceled. That's handicap.
When did you start dancing, Kalyne?
When did I start dancing? I started dancing late, 15.
15.
That's late.
And like competition, that's
That
late.
sounds late.
So what's the average age of starting?
3. 3. For real though.
It depends on the
It's-
style.
All 3-year-olds dance, by the way.
Well, I was a studio. So like most kids are in ballet and jazz and all that, like 3.
Starting in studio at 15 is late.
Yeah.
Yeah, for studio,
Super
that's
lit.
late.
And when you say studio, what does that mean? 'Cause I'm not.
You're receiving proper training.
Yeah.
So most kids that are into dance, they start as a toddler. Like a fucking Russian contortionist.
A lot of the really good people that you'll see, you'll be like if you go to some really good dancers' Instagram, they'll be on Thursdays. There'll be a video of them as a fucking kid, like on stage. And you're like, damn. That's
like okay. When they're wearing the sequins
So
like
I think
thing.
also the
shit.
dichotomy is oftentimes it's not 100%, but it's like oftentimes like studio trained versus maybe like street styles or something like that. So like for example, Ryan, I'm assuming again, he was probably just learning street style dancing, but never really went into the studio to learn like formal classical training.
What studio? What are some classical styles for studio?
Jazz, tap, ballet, contemporary, modern.
And you have to take all of them. So it's you have to take.
It's like there's like a tuition, like an actual curriculum and tuition.
Like algebra 2, whatever. It's like that. Oh wow.
Whereas like I started at 18 at UCI. So like as like late as it gets and as cliche as it was, I remember like me and Mike and Victor, we would like literally take cardboard boxes and put them in the fucking little garage and try to learn shit. I would be hurting myself all the time, but that was like we were like, oh, this is the street style. You know what I'm saying?
We're street style too.
Are you?
in your garage.
Yeah.
When did you have that moment when you found the Wait, you're classical or your studio?
No.
Oh, because I thought you found a street man and then he taught you.
Like a bum that
man.
teaches you Buddhist palm?
He saw Anthony. He's like, this guy, you got real potential.
There's a guy at 3rd Street Promenade. He's like, can you please teach me? He's like, get out of here! I'm trying to make money.
I remember for the first few years, I never made it into a dance studio. You know what I mean? Like literally never went to a dance studio the first few years. The first couple times that we would like practice at a gym, not even a designated dance space, but just like a gym that had an open area. I remember being like, this is luxury.
When was
Yeah.
the first proper class you took as a dancer?
At Millennium.
Sean Evaristo is at Focus Dance Center,
What age?
20 or 21.
Holy shit.
So at that time you only had 3 years of training, like training.
My first year at 18, I was too scared to join a choreo team, so I went to the UCI B-Boy Club for like a year and just learned like breaking and popping. And then the next year I auditioned for a team, and then the next year I went to my first class.
Did you pick up choreo fast?
I pick up fast, but technique still took me just as long as anybody else. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's to be expected.
Yeah, but I have a fast pickup.
Because of probably Taekwondo, huh? Like the forms.
I always like to think that things like forms in Taekwondo and like playing video games, like hand-eye coordination and timing, were things that helped me be able to piece those things together.
And when did you take all of those things you learned and begin to channel it into macking on the ladies?
Yeah, that's the real question.
That's what we gotta start.
When I first started breaking, I think it's a lot of people, right? Like the very first thing, some people be like, yo, you gotta learn like a little bit of foundation. I'm like, yo, can we learn some windmills?
I thought you say women.
Windmills.
Women. So today we have a woman.
Teach me how to move.
Cancel. Take the fork and stab yourself.
I cancel myself.
Are there any dance women creeps?
Yeah.
Sure.
That are
Bunch
kind of
of
like
dancing
like
floozies.
coming to my hotel room late at night. You know what I mean?
And you're like, I can't.
It's like a husband-wife duo.
Yeah. Oh yeah. In Florida.
Yeah.
Oh.
Say it. Not from me.
Wait, what happened?
Yeah. There's a group out in Florida. I'm not gonna say the name again, but
It's a whole girl group and all full of creeps.
no, there's like, for example, one.
Group.
one dance team that was very, very like won a lot of competitions in our circuit and communities.
Like highly prolific.
Yeah, specifically led mainly by like one dude and his wife. They were outed in this whole slew of community Me Too type stuff.
What do they do? Orgies?
No, more like aggressive and forced, stuff with youngins.
So they're the Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell of the dance.
Low key, it sounded like that. Again, I don't want to say anything.
Yeah, because this stuff didn't actually go to trial. It just was like
It's a ledge.
bunch of people just did a ton of IG lives talking about.
But you got like literally like ladies from these dance teams and stuff going on IG lives during this time, this coronavirus pandemic time. People were like all on the phones always. And they're giving these accounts, and they're very detailed. There's like tears. There's people jumping on to share.
There's corroborators of all their stories.
Yeah, and it gets really intense. You know what I mean? So that kind of stuff for sure happens. But I think to answer the concept of the question, I mean, if men can do it, for sure women can too. But I will say statistically, from everything we see here, it seems a lot more men are the predators in these situations.
Yeah.
Even the predators of men be men.
I mean, that shit happened with breaking a lot, like because breaking's so male driven, and then when girls want to learn, there's always a guy that's like, oh, I'll teach you.
There's always a perverted coach.
Yeah.
There's always that I teach you moment.
And it's kind of weird too because
Really,
even,
where? My home studio. Okay.
I never.
Why is the linoleum on the bed? Spins faster, baby.
Beats faster.
You want to be the best, don't you? Yeah, it's like even one of like my personal heroes, Crazy Legs. Yeah. He had some shit happen to him where like
He had a crazy dick.
You know it. You know
Just
it.
picture the dick doing a six.
It just like goes crazy all the time.
no, he got some shit. He didn't. I don't think he actually like. I don't know. I honestly don't even know. Someone was complaining that he was like hitting on him and shit when he shouldn't have been.
Oh.
I think he was just like making girls uncomfortable while he was in a position of like
Because that's the hard thing, right? Like you get put on that pedestal.
Yeah.
The lines are so much more different from any other social interaction. You know
And
what I
guys
mean?
gotta shoot their shot outside of their workplace.
Yeah, don't shit where you eat.
I mean, like, well, maybe you can shoot your shot to a superior. No, you can't do that.
But you have more of an advantage because when I train people, I load up the barbell like crazy, right? And I have them walk it out. So they're literally life or death. And then I ask them on a date. And then if they say no, then I just tap the top of the barbell and they get crushed.
We're having a great time.
Personal trainer secrets.
my what a time we're having. I need to find that shit, man. I'm gonna look like a fucking crazy guy.